On July 9th, 1989, my birthday, I boarded a tiny De Havilland -8 turboprop aircraft in Bangkok for a short flight to the island of Koh Samui. Back then, it was still a relatively quiet island, long before mass tourism arrived. Exactly 500 days later, that very same aircraft crashed on Koh Samui Island, killing everyone on board. And strangely enough, this story is connected to one of the most unusual airlines in the world. Because Bangkok Airways doesn't just fly to airports, it actually owns some of them. Most airlines simply fly to airports built by governments or airport operators. But in Thailand, one airline decided to do something completely different. Bangkok Airways didn't just launch routes to remote destinations. It actually built and owns some of the airports themselves. Today, Bangkok Airways owns 3 airports: Samui, Trat, and Sukhothai. Samui Airport was the first to open in April 1989. Sukhothai followed in 1996 and Trat in 2003. What's remarkable is that when Samui Airport opened, Bangkok Airways operated just 2 De Havilland -8 turboprops, and one of them crashed. Despite that dramatic start, today the airline has grown into a fleet of 23 aircraft, 13 Airbus A319 and A320 jetliners, and 10 ATR-72 turboprops. Yet, even growing that large, Bangkok Airways has kept the same philosophy, making the journey part of the travel experience. And nowhere is that philosophy more visible than in the 3 airports it owns. Let's start with the youngest of them, Trat Airport. Trat Airport in eastern Thailand is the gateway to the islands of Koh Chang and Koh Kood. As you can see, this place feels different. There's no giant concrete terminal, no endless corridors, no aggressive fluorescent lighting. Instead, the airport feels calm, tropical, and almost resort-like. The buildings are low-rised and open air, surrounded by gardens and palm trees. Even boarding or unboarding feels different. There is none of the stress often associated with larger airports. Small electric carts or trains transport passengers around the airport grounds. In many ways, Trat perfectly illustrates Bangkok Airways' vision. The airport is not merely a piece of transport infrastructure. It is designed to become part of the travel experience itself. Before you've even reached your destination, the holiday has already begun. And while Trat is certainly charming, Bangkok Airways pushed the concept even further at its second airport. Sukhothai Airport may be one of the most unusual airports I've ever visited. At first glance, it feels more like an eco-resort than an airport. The terminal is open, airy, and surrounded by greenery. The atmosphere is peaceful and remarkably relaxed. There are gardens, ponds, and shaded walkways throughout the airport grounds. But then you discover something completely unexpected. A zoo. Yes, this airport actually has its own zoo. You'll find giraffes, exotic birds, and several other species living within the airport grounds. And somehow, it doesn't feel gimmicky. It feels perfectly aligned with the philosophy Bangkok Airways has tried to create here. This isn't an airport designed merely to move passengers from point A to point B. It is designed to reflect the destination itself. Sukhothai is known for its history, culture, and slower pace of life. And the airport serves as a gentle introduction to that world. But if Sukhothai is unusual, Bangkok Airways saved its most ambitious project for Koh Samui. Most airports are designed around efficiency. Check passengers in, process them, get them onto airplanes. At first, Samui Airport doesn't seem all that different. Checking is much like what you'll find elsewhere. But once you've passed that stage, that's where the experience becomes truly unique. Isn't this an interesting waiting lounge? Much of the airport is entirely open air. There are in fact very few enclosed spaces. From check-in to security, you'll walk through what feels more like a typical Thai village street, lined with cafes, restaurants, boutiques and open-air seating areas. The design of Samui Airport wasn't accidental. Bangkok Airways deliberately created something very different from the larger airports found elsewhere in Thailand. Unlike Phuket, which embraced large-scale tourism development, Koh Samui followed a more controlled path. Airport capacity remains relatively limited, flights remains fewer, and yes, airfares remains higher. Critics argue that this limits competition. Supporters argue that it helped preserve much of the island's character. Whichever side of the debate you fall on, one thing is certain. Samui Airport remains one of the most distinctive airports in the world, and it perfectly embodies Bangkok Airways' boutique philosophy. The waiting area at the gate is open air. Palm trees sway just a few meters from the gates. Birds sing in the background. In fact, it feels less like an airport and more like an upscale tropical village resort. After spending time in what may be one of the world's most relaxing airports, it's finally time for us to return to Bangkok. Even the journey to the aircraft is different here. As in Trat and Sukhothai airports, instead of walking through jet bridges or being packed onto crowded buses, passengers are transported across the airport grounds aboard these charming open-air tourist trains. Once again, it feels more like a resort than an airport. Are we flying with Chiang Mai today? No, we'll take the rainbow-colored jet. Operating today's flight is HSPGN, an Airbus A319 named Luang Prabang. Delivered to Bangkok Airways in 2009, it is among the oldest aircraft in the fleet, and one of the few still featuring a 12-seat business class cabin at the front. as we are just behind business class. Legroom is excellent. But anyway, Bangkok Airways continues to offer a noticeably more premium experience than many regional competitors. The plane makes a U-turn at the end of the unique runway, and soon will be airborne above one of Thailand's most beautiful islands. As always, when departing Samui, the views are spectacular. The island's coastline, beaches, and surrounding waters provide a stunning farewell. We stayed at 3 different 5-star hotels on this beach. Reviews coming soon. Despite the short flight time, Bangkok Airways still serves a complimentary meal and drinks. It's a small detail, but one that perfectly reflects the airline's boutique philosophy. And the cutlery is not plastic nor wood, but stainless steel. And these marzipan fruits were absolutely delicious. In an era when many airlines seem determined to remove every possible extra from the passenger experience, Bangkok Airways continues to do the opposite. The flight to Bangkok takes just over an hour, offering plenty of opportunities to enjoy the scenery below. Here in the distance, it's Chonburi. As the sun slowly begins to set, we start our descent towards Sukhothai Airport, but from the north. After a smooth approach, we touch down in Bangkok just as the sun has disappeared under the horizon. And with that, my journey through Bangkok Airways' unique world of airline-owned airports come to an end. Thanks a lot for staying up until the end.